Hello everybody! Today I want to tell you about 10 creatures on the Oregon coast. So over the summer, I went with some friends on a camping trip to the coast of Oregon. Now, most people have heard of how beautiful the Pacific coast is, and the coast of Oregon was certainly not disappointing. Many of us like to go to the coast and spend a day with our family or our friends watching the waves and taking a walk, or even finding seashells and odd-looking rocks. But whatever your reason is for enjoying the coast, one thing that is always unique is the variety of animal life you can find there. Sometimes they're hiding in the rocky cracks, and at other times they are easily spotted from wherever you happen to be. Every video you'll see today was taken by one of the people in our group on that 2-day camping trip. Now, before we get started, if you like this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button below. You can also subscribe if you'd like to see more of my videos. Comment below if you have been to the Oregon coast or seen any of these animals before. So, without saying anything more, let's get started. Number 1. Starfish. These little guys are actually called sea stars, and they're not uncommon. However, in 2014, they were almost completely eliminated on the west coast by a sickness called sea star wasting disease. Shortly thereafter, millions of sea stars washed up on the beaches, and now you can find them everywhere on the west coast once again. Number 2. Crabs. Crabs have a peculiar habit of walking sideways everywhere they go. That does not make them slow though, and they keep a sharp eye out for anything or anyone that gets close. You'll have to be very quick if you want to get a view of them outside the rocky cracks that they hide in. Be careful if you do decide to hold one of these little guys, because if the bigger ones get a hold of you with their pincers, that can hurt. Number 3. Pelicans. Pelicans are rather majestic birds that live on the coast, and you can often see them sweeping low over the waves looking for their next meal, like the one pictured here. Number 4. Jellyfish. Jellyfish can mostly be found lying dead on the beaches. You can pick them up and touch them and hold them, and they actually have a unique jiggly feel like no other. However, you have to be careful because, as my friend told me after I picked it up, they can still sting when they're dead. Number 5. Purple sea urchins. This one is particularly odd to me personally because I used to live on the East Coast, and on the East Coast you could find the spiky outer shells of green urchins everywhere from seagulls bashing them open on the rocks to eat their gooey insides. But generally, the actual live urchins were down too deep for people to get to. This little guy, however, was found in a shallow tide pool under a batch of green seaweed. Not only was it alive, and purple, but it was accessible for me to look at, which was really cool. Number 6. Anemone. These green sea anemone are everywhere on the Oregon coast, to the point that if you did not know to look for them, you could easily end up stepping on them. When they're in the water, they're beautiful and flowering, but when they're out of the water, they retract their tendrils and form large swaths of closed-up sea anemone that will move slightly if you touch them. I had assumed that anemone were only in coral reefs deeper down in the ocean, but as it turns out, God allows them to also develop in shallow waters for the beachgoers to enjoy. Number 7. Mole crabs. Because they swim backward, when I saw them on the ground I assumed this side was their head. But when I picked one up, I found out this side is actually their head. You can see their antennae there and their little eyes blinking. Mole crabs wash up with the waves and then quickly bury themselves in the sand. You can dig them up, but they will immediately begin to burrow again and leave only their antennae sticking up. Occasionally, they don't manage to burrow in time, and they wash right back out with the receding tide. Number 8. The sea lions. The sea lions don't hang out on the beaches as much, but there are a number of marinas, boat docks, and tourist sites you can stop at as you drive up the coast to get a good view of them. They really just like to lay around and sunbathe like oversized slugs, and they bark at each other when they want the other to move. Like here. Number 9. Harbor seals. Harbor seals we did find lying on a beach after we had walked a little ways away from the other beachgoers. They did not like it when I got really close, and I did not feel like testing how territorial they were, so I kept my distance. On land, they flop from place to place in a rather comedic fashion, while in the water, they are swift and agile. Number 10. Gray whales. These are the hardest to spot and the coolest in my opinion. You can hire a boat to take you out at Depot Bay and other places, but we just stood on the rocks and looked out toward them. I was praying to see one, and God allowed this one to swim by the rocks very close to where I was standing. This is one experience I will never forget in all my life. Well guys, those are the 10 creatures you can see on the Oregon coast in 2 days. Have you seen any of these? Which one was your favorite? Comment below to let me know. Also, if you like this video, please hit the subscribe button and give it a thumbs up for me. See you next time!